And I call the Honourable Member for Durack.
Thank you, Mr Deputy Speaker. I'm very pleased to speak on this bill today, which, together with my other regional Liberal colleagues, the member for O'Connor, who is here with me today, the member for Barker and also the member for Forrest, another colleague of mine from Western Australia, we've worked very hard to ensure we have a balanced bill that we are debating today, and I'm very pleased that we finally have the opportunity to discuss it. Deputy Speaker, the proposed backpacker tax changes, as they are now known, would have serious consequences for all Australians, but perhaps nowhere would the impact of the backpacker tax as currently stands be felt more than in my electorate of Durack. The electorate of Durack is responsible for so much of the wealth of this nation, Deputy Speaker, through such a wide variety of different industries. Clearly, the miners are a big contributor to my electorate and to the nation, but so are the farmers, the horticulturalists, the pastoralists, and also a significant amount of tourism and hospitality operators. Deputy Speaker, I know that this new package before the House is a vital part of our commitment to stimulating growth in the regions and providing the flow-on jobs that service the working holiday communities. Deputy Speaker, the taxing working holiday makers the 19% from the first dollar makes us internationally competitive against comparable countries like the UK, Canada and New Zealand. We are also extending the age criteria for eligibility of working holiday makers from 30 to 35. This will allow those seeking perhaps a professional hiatus or maybe a sabbatical, an even more common phenomenon these days, to come to Australia and work regionally for an extended holiday and to work at the same time, should they choose to do so. There will be inbuilt integrity safeguards to protect working holiday makers from exploitation, which measures taken to ensure working holiday makers are paid the same rates for their work as their Australian colleagues. Another welcome change, Deputy Speaker, will allow a working holiday visa holder to work in 2 different locations for 6 months at each time for the same employer. This is particularly important, Deputy Speaker, for the hospitality industry, who often have multiple work sites in their businesses. Deputy Speaker, you know as well as I do they will spend considerable amount of time training up these new employees, and it's therefore important that this effort is not wasted and it will allow the employer-employee to enjoy the benefit for the 12-month period. Deputy Speaker, I believe that all these changes will be welcomed by working holiday makers who will have more money in their back pockets, and the regions where they work can only benefit from more dollars spent locally. A $5 passenger movement charge increase, the first increase I might say so, Deputy Speaker, since 2012 and in line with CPI, also makes good financial sense in offsetting some of the losses that these changes bring to our budget bottom line. The Labor Party, let me just say, Deputy Speaker, should respect the hard work of the people who feed us and clothe us and provide us with the industries that drive this nation. Deputy Speaker, the members opposite have displayed a distinct lack of understanding of regional Australia again and the makeup of its workforce. If they did, Deputy Speaker, they would support this bill without hesitation. Deputy Speaker, this measure is part of the broad informed plan of the Turnbull government to reform the economy and promote jobs and growth in regional areas. The Turnbull government, as you know, has a strong plan to relieve the tax burden on average Australians and promote growth in the regions through a range of infrastructure programs and programs for small business. This bill will put more money into the pockets of working holiday makers, which they will in turn spend in the regions. Any program that puts funds into the hands of small businesses in the regions simply has to be encouraged, Deputy Speaker, because these are the best ways, the most sustainable ways to promote regional growth and secure jobs for the future. Deputy Speaker, we're moving into a very important part of the year. With the spring picking season upon us, small businesses in the agricultural and hospitality and tourism sectors and working holiday makers are currently in a state of limbo. And members opposite are playing politics with their lives and livelihoods. The uncertainty is having a profound impact on regional Australians, and it's now urgent that we resolve it once and for all. By making these changes, we are making Australia more competitive in regards to comparative countries that rely on working holiday makers as a source of labour in their regions. Even at 19%, we will still be a higher rate of tax than New Zealand, our biggest competitor for working holiday makers, but who have a lower base rate of pay than most Australian agricultural and horticultural businesses. This policy will put an estimated $2,000 extra in the hands of every working holiday backpacker in Australia, money that is very likely to be spent in the region supporting local businesses. With a short time left, I have, Deputy Speaker, I want to make the point that I think all of us in this House and in Australia, we all want Australians to have Australian jobs. But the sad reality is that this is not always possible. And I firmly believe that until we change the rules and regulations around welfare payments, that this will continue to be the case. As a consequence, working holiday makers become a critical part of the labour force in regional Australia, and that, Deputy Speaker, is why I commend this bill to the House.